What is going on, guys, and welcome to the first episode of Road to Glory with McLaren. This is the Australian Grand Prix. As you can see, just finished my qualifying session. Unfortunately, it was a rainy one, so didn't really get to put in a good time. So unfortunately, we're starting off in 18th position. There we go, 4 lights, 5 lights, and here we go. We get a pretty good start off of the line. Managed to get in front of the Sauber to our left and make a big dive onto the inside. Somebody tried to do the same, bit of contact either side, but we are through. We managed to make up 6 places in that corner, as we are now up into 12th. Managed to make a big dive onto Felipe Massa there, so we are now up into 11th place. We are now behind our very own teammate Fernando Alonso. Albert Park is it's quite a fast-paced circuit. There's a little bit of a twisty technical section in the middle, but we managed to get through that perfectly fine. We've got Fernando Alonso now up our inside, giving us a bit of a fight, bit of a love tap there. And are we able to make the move stick? Yep, he backs off and ends up going behind us. So that move there is done and dusted for now. Now what we have to do is get up to Carlos Sainz, who is now about a second or two ahead of us. So we've got to try and really step on the pace now. Unfortunately, I ended up going on the grass there, ended up turning in a bit too early for my liking. So didn't get really good traction off that corner, and thus didn't really make any progress on getting onto the back of Carlos Sainz there, which is unfortunate for me. Although I still have to keep an eye out on Felipe Massa, who is behind at the moment. He's got a lot of pace in the Williams, especially straight line pace, but he doesn't have the mechanical grip in the corners like the McLaren has, so that's where we have the advantage. Made a bit of contact there with Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso. End up cutting the corner a bit too much there, but we end up making the move stick. And now that is us up into, well, we were up into 9th, but he has now overtaken us once more. So we are now back on the chase with him once again. Again, we should have our teammate behind us. No, that is Felipe Massa behind us. Again, just trying to keep the gap. You see, we're slowly creeping back up onto Carlos Sainz there. Managed to get a good exit off that corner. Just sticking behind him, trying to counteract this dirty air that he's given us. Thought about a move up on him then, managed to go around the outside. Luckily, basically parked it on the apex, thinking I wasn't going to get around him, but I did in the end. Here we are now onto lap 3. DRS is now enabled, so we are now going to progress on with the rest of the race. Now with DRS activated, it should be quite an entertaining one. A lot of overtakes and a lot of fighting and a lot of jockeying for position. Now we fast forward on to lap number 5. Again, coming into the end of the tricky section of this lap, or tricky section of the lap. Not doing too bad. Unfortunately, clipped the wall on the side there. End up taking the corner pretty well though. Cut it slightly just there, so get a decent line. Unfortunately, we do have a car coming up behind us at this current moment in time, and that is Carlos Sainz. Oh no, it's Felipe Massa that just overtook us. unfortunately went a bit wide there. Tried to make a move up the inside. Will I make it stick? And I do for all of about 1 or 2 laps, I believe. So here we go, lap 6, coming up to that tricky chicane. End up overcooking it, making a mistake, trying to correct myself. Managed to hold it, luckily. And now we have Felipe Massa right on our tail once again. Comes up at the inside. End up tapping him a little bit, but luckily neither of us are damaged. Managed to hold on to the rest of the positions. And again, it's just trying to keep up the pace. Hopefully don't make any more mistakes and try and keep up with Massa while keeping the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz behind us at this current point in time. Try to keep with the 1 lap of extra fuel. I wasn't sure. I was thinking about maybe underfilling the car and possibly using lean mix a bit more, but I wasn't too sure. But then I also thought about overfilling it and possibly pushing, which I think might have been the better choice, but I stuck with what I was given, so I'm just using what I've got. And as you can see, Massa is slowly but surely pulling away from us right now. He's got a lot of pace in that Williams car. Like I say, I do make up for it in the mechanical grip, but it's just there's quite a lot of straights in this, so he's just got that edge on me, unfortunately. We still have Lance Stroll now behind us, so we are now in the Williams sandwich. Unfortunately, like I say, Lance Stroll still has straight line pace over me, but like, I also have mechanical grip over him, as he is also in the Williams car. Okay, as we are coming up to the end of lap 7 now, coming into lap 8. Just quickly looking at the Delta, we do a 1:31.4, which is actually not too bad. Unfortunately, obviously it's not going to be as good as all of the other as all of the other cars as the top cars are going to do. I still have Lance Stroll behind us. I think he's a couple of seconds back at this moment in time, so he's not too much of a threat at this current moment, but we are still pushing tremendously hard, trying to make sure that we keep that gap between us and him, while also trying to gain. There we are, there's the old sign that the rain's coming. Unfortunately, the predictions were not in my favour. I was hoping for a dry race all the way through. I go off the track there, ended up pushing a bit too hard. Now Lance Stroll is now right up my chuff, tries going around the outside, tried to outbrake him into the corner. He ends up cutting me off. I get spun round, and then Romain Grosjean in the Haas car hits into the side of me. I end up going into the pits, changing tyres, ended up spending an extra 3 laps trying to get behind the safety car, and Lance Stroll is now out of the Grand Prix. It must be due to some mechanical failure, which is kind of unfortunate for him because he was having a decent fight with me. I think we could have had a really, really decent race and really fun race, you know, fighting against him. Almost had a car come up the inside of me as we restart the race. We're now behind Pascal Wehrlein as he is in the Sauber. We've got the pace over him, so we'll be able to pass him quite easily. But now we have the Renault with Nico Hülkenberg, which is coming up very, very quickly. Hülkenberg, a very, very good driver, so this is going to be very, very difficult to keep the pace, especially on him. So I try and keep it in the centre of the track for as long as I can. Almost smashed into the back of Ericsson there. Luckily I managed to brake in time, so we do not take any more damage. Go for the switchback on the outside of him. He switches back in behind, and that is the move done. Now behind Felipe Massa once more. As we know, Massa's already got a lot of pace, and he's probably got more than I have, but we end up overtaking him. and we also overtake Daniel Kvyat in the same corner. So I'm able to get the moves off, it's just having the pace to keep them there. That is the problem with the McLaren, as I've stated multiple times through this race. Unfortunately, I end up getting a warning because of a couple of corners. I should have stated before, I do have this on regular.
Illegal maneuver, cede that position or receive a penalty.
That was just unfortunate there. I went for a massive move down the inside, as you saw. Ended up braking late, but unfortunately we did get hit with the yellow flag literally as the corner was coming up, so had to give the positions back, but managed to lose 2 extra positions that I already gained, but managed to gain 1 back in the meantime. So it's very, very eventful, this Australian Grand Prix so far. Still on the back of Felipe Massa now, like I said, just trying to keep up with him, but the pace of that Williams down the straights is just unmatched with the McLaren. You just can't keep up with him. If he gets better traction than me out of corners, then that's basically it, he's off. So I think when we next do the upgrades, we'll put some more engine power in there, hopefully. The only upgrades I've put on at the moment is just efficiency in the certain areas that obviously require it, like the different departments, so that way, you know, anything that does come through, it has a higher chance of it actually succeeding. So we've still got a whole line of cars in front of us. Still behind Felipe Massa. Kimi Raikkonen now setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the Ferrari. Now we've got cars coming in that were not able to pit or didn't pit under the safety car, including my teammate Fernando Alonso. Still have Hulkenberg behind us. Tries to make a move up on the inside. Try and squeeze him out, it doesn't really work out. He ends up tapping the back of us and we go right into the wall, and then that is our front wing broken. So we end up coming into the pits and replacing the front wing because it is that damaged that we needed a new one. So now we're back behind Pascal Wehrlein once more. Like I say, we've got the pace on him. Make the switch back onto the inside of the corner. Nice and easy. Follow it through. Somebody coming in fitting the soft tyre, and as you can see from the little specks of water that I'm getting on my screen, the rain has now finally started to come down. But I elect to stay out for one more lap because I feel like I can push these tyres a bit longer. I think they can probably survive one lap in slightly damp conditions, but as you will notice as the lap goes on that the rain does start to come down quite profusely. Even though it still says it's light rain, it still comes down quite hard, and I do have to switch over to the intermediate tyres next lap. Like I said, coming up to the end of the lap now, the rain's coming down pretty hard. Can't quite keep myself on the track, end up going onto the gravel, and then Nico Hulkenberg takes the position. Nurse the car into the pits, coming in, swapping onto the intermediate tyres. Must say, McLaren, your pit crew is pretty good. We managed to get back in front of Nico Hulkenberg now. Now the only thing left to do is to really keep it there, which is easier said than done, especially when it comes to Nico. It's just a heavy rain warning there, but by the time the end of the Grand Prix comes, that's when the rain will be here. Tried to correct myself when I didn't need to, ended up going wide, and that is when Nico Hulkenberg gets himself through, and we just let him go on his merry way. To be honest, there's no reason to try and catch him. The Renault car, like I said, is a lot better, And now we come to the end, the final lap. I skip forward to the end because literally the only thing you missed after that is me being overtaken by Sebastian Vettel and then Bottas right at the line. As you can see, I ended up in 17th place, so after all of that, I ended up only gaining one position from where I started from.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
So, Vettel on
Well,
pole.
this is where they all want to be.
Does not surprise me that Ferrari ended up coming in first place there. Vettel had an amazing drive. And we also have Valtteri Bottas in second with Max Verstappen in third. So we have one Ferrari, one Mercedes and one Red Bull on the podium, which is not surprising because those are the three best teams in the Formula 1 Grand Prix, basically. Here we are, just looking at the table at the end. Fernando Alonso ended up coming 7th, I ended up coming 17th, so I don't know what they ended up putting in his car compared to mine, but it was a lot better, so we need to really catch up with our teammate right now when it comes to upgrades. Anyways guys, if you want to see the next episode, make sure you hit that like button, also leave a comment down below, and if you're new, please make sure you subscribe for more videos, not just F1, I play a bunch of random games.